All right, let's just jump right in. We really need to have a conversation about how we talk about AI. Because honestly, the words we're using, they're setting us up for some major problems. And this matters way more than you probably think.
So check out this headline. The word that just jumps out at you is panics, right? We're talking about a piece of software playing Pokemon, and we're saying it panicked. You know, that feeling of sudden, uncontrollable fear. It's a super easy way to describe it, but is that what's really going on?
Okay, or get this one. Now, the AI isn't just lying, which is already a big claim, right? It implies it's trying to deceive us. No, it's supposedly lying because it was lonely. It missed the user. I mean, it makes for a great story, but let's be real, that's just not what's happening under the hood.
And it's not just the media. Even the pros, the industry analysts fall into this trap. They're talking about AI telling lies with complete confidence. But hang on, confidence? That's a feeling, a sense of being sure of yourself. A piece of code, a statistical model, it doesn't feel anything. It's just running the numbers, calculating probabilities.
So here's the absolute heart of the issue. What we're seeing here, it's not some sign that AI is waking up or developing feelings. Nope, it's a mirror. It's a reflection of us, of our own language and how we can't help but project human stuff onto things that aren't human at all.
And that right there, that's the core problem. The words we use are literally deceiving us. They're painting a completely wrong picture of what AI is and what it can actually do. And yeah, these little shortcuts, they seem harmless, but they're building up this massive, fundamental misunderstanding.
I mean, just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got us, human beings. Our minds are the result of millions of years of evolution, tangled up with emotions and consciousness. And on the other side, AI. It's pure math, probabilities, raw computing power. These two things could not be more different. So why on earth are we using the same vocabulary for both?
All right, let's really dig into this with a perfect example. Probably the most popular and most misleading word in AI right now, hallucination. This one word perfectly shows how we're getting it all wrong. So when we talk about a person having a hallucination, that's a really big deal, right? It's a deep neurological thing. It's about your senses tricking you, seeing, hearing, feeling something that isn't really there. It's all tied up in our biology, our consciousness.
So when we say an AI hallucinates, are we saying it's having a sensory experience? Is it seeing digital ghosts in the machine? The answer is a hard no. It's not even in the same ballpark.
So what is happening? It's actually pretty straightforward, and it's not mysterious at all. When an AI spits out something wrong, it's not because it's seeing things. It's a predictable result of its programming. Maybe its training data had gaps. Maybe the prompt we gave it was confusing, or just doesn't have the real-world context. At the end of the day, all it's doing is a super complex version of autocomplete, predicting the next word that's statistically most likely to come next. That's it.
And this is just the perfect analogy for it. Think about it. If you type 2 plus 2 into a calculator and get 4, you don't say the calculator knew the answer. And if you type in gibberish and get an error, you don't say the calculator is confused, right? It's just following its programming based on what you gave it. And AI is the exact same. The process is working perfectly. The result just happens to be factually wrong.
And look, this isn't just me being picky about words. This isn't just semantics. Using the wrong language has huge, real-world consequences. It's genuinely harmful. And it creates what you could call the high cost of hype.
This fuzzy language causes damage in a few key ways. For one, it completely misleads the public, and, maybe more importantly, the policymakers who are supposed to be figuring out the rules for all this stuff. It also sets these totally unrealistic expectations for what AI can and should do. Plus, it hides how these things actually work, wrapping them in mystery. And, kind of ironically, by making AI seem so human-like, we actually end up downplaying how unbelievably complex our own intelligence really is.
Okay, let's talk about those unrealistic expectations. Just think about this number for a second. In the US alone, there are something like 13 million car crashes every year. Almost all of them are because of human error. It's tragic, but we kind of accept it as a fact of life.
Now be honest, would we ever accept that from a self-driving AI? Even 1% of that? That's still 130,000 crashes. No way, right? Not a chance. We demand perfection from our machines, but at the same time, our human-like language constantly forces this totally unfair comparison to us with all our human flaws.
So, okay, if the way we're talking is so broken, what do we do about it? Well, The solution is we have to consciously, deliberately build a better, more honest vocabulary for this stuff.
And it really just starts with a simple commitment. We have to make the choice to use words that describe what's really happening, the mechanical reality, not the sci-fi fantasy.
So here are some practical swaps we can make. Instead of saying an AI learns, let's say it's trained or fine-tuned. Instead of saying it thinks, how about we say it completes tasks through statistical correlation, much more accurate. And instead of reasoning, we can say it approximates reasoning patterns. And instead of calling everything an assistant, let's call them what they are: automated workflows. Again, this isn't about being picky, it's about being precise.
And here's another big language trap we fall into: just calling everything AI. It's not all the same. You've got different systems built for totally different things. You have your traditional AI, which is all about accuracy. Then you've got generative AI for creativity. And then there are agentic frameworks designed to automate tasks. You wouldn't use a hammer to saw a board, right? Well, using the right tool for the job starts with calling the tool by its right name.
Okay, so let's tie all of this together. Why am I making such a big deal about a few words? Because our language is the foundation for everything else. It shapes public opinion, and it shapes public policy.
So what we really need, right now, is a collective shift. We need to start using clearer terms and find better metaphors. We need to educate people on how this tech actually works, not just repeat what we've seen in movies. We need to build a vocabulary that actually helps us create trust and safety.
Think of it like a chain reaction, and it's a simple one. How we talk about AI dictates how we understand it, and how we understand it determines how we govern it. If you mess up that first link, the whole chain falls apart.
And the stakes here are honestly as high as they get. The words we choose today are going to be a huge factor in whether AI becomes this incredible force for good or just another powerful technology that we completely misunderstood and, as a result, totally mismanaged.
Which really just leaves us with this one final thought. We're building this technology to serve us, right? To help us to solve problems. If we want that to actually happen, and happen safely, then our language has to start serving us first. It has to be clear, it has to be precise, and it has to help us understand what we're actually building.